There comes a moment in every life when wishing gets tired of waiting, when dreams grow weary of being admired but never pursued. In that moment, the heart begins to understand a simple truth. Talent may open the door, but discipline decides whether you walk through it, and consistency determines how far you will go once you are inside. We live in a world that celebrates quick wins and loud success, yet the real transformation happens quietly in the choices you make when no one is counting your steps. Today is not about pressure or perfection. It is about honoring your own potential by showing up again and again, even on the days when belief feels heavy. Because the life you desire is not asking you to be extraordinary all at once. It is asking you to be disciplined enough to begin and consistent enough to continue. Discipline is the quiet promise you make to yourself when no one is watching and no one is applauding. It is not loud, it does not beg for recognition, and it does not announce its arrival. It lives in the ordinary hours of your life, in the moments when comfort calls your name and excuses feel reasonable. Discipline is choosing to honor your word, even when breaking it would be easier. It is the strength to say, I will continue, not because the road is smooth, but because your purpose deserves respect. In that silence, character is built, and the future quietly takes notes. Consistency walks hand in hand with discipline, not as a burden, but as a companion. It reminds you that greatness is not born in a single day of effort, but in the steady repetition of small, faithful acts. Some days you will feel inspired, and some days you will feel tired, unsure, and unmotivated. Consistency does not wait for the perfect mood. It simply asks you to show up as you are and do what you can. Over time, those imperfect days begin to stack, and suddenly you look back and realize you have come farther than you ever imagined. There will be moments when you stumble, when your rhythm breaks, and your confidence shakes. Discipline does not punish you for falling. It teaches you how to rise. Consistency does not shame you for missing a step. It invites you to return. Growth is not a straight line, and progress is not measured by how often you succeed, but by how often you refuse to quit. Each time you come back to your path, you strengthen your belief that you are capable of more than you once thought. The world may applaud sudden success, but it is discipline that prepares you for it, and consistency that allows you to sustain it. Without them, talent fades and opportunity slips away. With them, even the smallest gift becomes powerful. You do not need to be extraordinary to begin. You only need to be committed. When you practice discipline daily, you teach your mind to trust you. When you remain consistent, you teach your heart that your dreams are safe in your hands. Over time, discipline reshapes how you see yourself. You stop waiting for permission. You stop needing validation. You begin to understand that self-respect is built through action. Consistency then turns that self-respect into confidence, not the loud kind that demands attention, but the quiet kind that stands firm in storms. This confidence does not rush. It knows that everything meaningful takes time. So keep your promise to yourself. Keep showing up, even when progress feels invisible. Keep choosing effort over excuses and patience over shortcuts. One day, the results will speak, not in a shout, but in a steady, unshakable presence. And you will realize that discipline and consistency did not just change your habits, they changed your life. Or consistency is not about perfection. It is about returning to your purpose even after you fall. It is understanding that falling does not disqualify you and pausing does not erase your progress. Life will interrupt you. Doubt will visit without warning. Some days you will lose your rhythm and forget why you even started. Consistency gently reminds you that your purpose is patient. It waits for you to come back, not with guilt, but with grace. What matters is not how many times you stumble, but how faithfully you return to what calls your soul forward. There is courage in beginning again. Each return is an act of faith, a declaration that your dreams are stronger than your discouragement. Consistency teaches you that success is not a straight road paved with confidence, but a winding path marked by resilience. When you choose to come back after falling, you are telling yourself that your vision is worth the effort, even when the journey feels heavy. In that choice, something powerful happens. You stop fearing failure and start trusting growth. Discipline gives consistency its strength. It anchors you when emotions rise and motivation fades. Discipline does not ask how you feel, it asks who you want to become. On the days when passion sleeps, discipline keeps the door open. It reminds you that purpose is not sustained by excitement alone, but by commitment. When you act with discipline, you are planting seeds even when you cannot see the harvest. Consistency waters those seeds day after day until roots form beneath the surface. There will be seasons when progress feels invisible. You will question whether your effort matters, whether your quiet persistence is making any difference at all. This is where consistency becomes sacred. It teaches you patience with yourself. It whispers that transformation often happens silently, long before it is seen. Just because others cannot see your growth does not mean it is not happening. Just because you cannot feel change does not mean you are standing still. Consistency reshapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and starts over endlessly. You begin to see yourself as someone who endures. Each return strengthens your self-trust. Each small act repeated builds confidence that cannot be taken away by failure or delay. Over time, your habits speak louder than your doubts, and your actions begin to align with the life you once only imagined. When you stay disciplined and consistent, even after falling, you send a powerful message to the universe and to yourself: I am still here. You are no longer chasing perfection, you are honoring persistence. And persistence has a quiet way of changing everything. One day, you will look back and realize that the moments you thought were setbacks were simply pauses preparing you for strength. And you will understand that discipline kept you grounded, consistency kept you moving, and together they carried you closer to the life you were always meant to live. When motivation fades, discipline becomes the voice that tells you to rise anyway. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are faithful only when life is gentle. They leave when the nights are long, when effort feels unrewarded, when the mirror reflects exhaustion instead of hope. Discipline does not abandon you in those moments. It stands steady, calm, and firm, reminding you that your purpose did not disappear just because your energy did. It says, stand up, not with anger, but with certainty, because becoming who you are meant to be cannot depend on moods alone. There will be mornings when your body feels heavy and your spirit feels quiet. On those days, discipline does not demand greatness. It asks for honesty. It asks you to take the next small step, to do the work that keeps the promise alive. Rising anyway does not mean forcing yourself to shine. It means refusing to surrender. It means understanding that even slow movement is still movement, and even whispered effort carries power. Discipline teaches you that strength is not always loud. It is often gentle and persistent. Consistency gives discipline a rhythm. It turns rising into a habit, not a heroic act. When you rise again and again, even without motivation, you train your mind to trust your resilience. You stop waiting to feel ready. You stop negotiating with doubt. You simply begin. And in that beginning, something shifts. Action awakens belief. Effort invites energy. The very act of showing up starts to create the motivation you thought you had lost. There will be times when the world misunderstands your quiet persistence. It may look ordinary from the outside, but inside, it is a revolution. Each time you rise anyway, you rewrite the story you once told yourself about giving up. You prove that your commitment runs deeper than your comfort. Discipline becomes your inner elder, reminding you of who you are when distractions try to rename you. Consistency becomes your testimony, showing that endurance outlasts excitement. As days turn into weeks and weeks into seasons, you begin to notice a change. You no longer rely on inspiration to move forward. You move forward because it is who you are now, Discipline has shaped your character. Consistency has shaped your direction. You trust yourself more deeply because you have seen what you can do when no one is cheering and nothing feels easy. Rising anyway transforms your relationship with struggle. You stop seeing hard days as signs to quit and start seeing them as invitations to grow. Discipline does not remove hardship, it gives you dignity within it. Consistency does not rush the journey, it honors every step. Together, they teach you that success is not about always feeling strong, but about choosing faithfulness over comfort. One day you will look back and realize that the moments when motivation disappeared were the moments that shaped you most, because you rose anyway, you stayed, you continued. And in doing so, you discovered a power that does not fade with feelings, a power built on discipline, carried by consistency, and rooted in the unshakable decision to keep going. Discipline is self-respect in action, practiced daily. It is the way you tell yourself, without speaking a word, that your life matters and your dreams are worthy of care. Every time you choose what is right over what is easy, you affirm your own value. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection. It protects your time, your energy, and your future from being wasted on impulses that offer comfort but steal growth. When you act with discipline, you are saying to yourself, I deserve more than temporary satisfaction. Self-respect is built quietly through repeated choices that align with who you want to become. It grows when you keep your promises to yourself, even the small ones, waking up when you said you would, showing up when no one is checking, continuing when quitting would be convenient. Discipline turns intention into identity. Over time, you stop seeing disciplined actions as effortful and start seeing them as natural because they reflect the person you are becoming. There is power in daily practice. One disciplined choice may seem insignificant, but repeated daily, it becomes transformative. Just as a river shapes stone through steady flow, discipline shapes character through consistency. Each day you practice it, you strengthen your inner foundation. You begin to trust yourself more because your actions match your words. That trust becomes confidence, not borrowed from praise or applause, but earned through integrity. Discipline also teaches you how to love yourself honestly. Loving yourself does not always look like rest and comfort. Sometimes it looks like structure, boundaries, and accountability. It means guiding yourself with care, not harshness. It means correcting your course without cruelty and pushing forward without self-betrayal. Discipline reminds you that your future self is watching, depending on the choices you make today. As discipline becomes a daily practice, your life begins to change in subtle but powerful ways. Distractions lose their grip, excuses lose their voice. You become less reactive and more intentional. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start honoring the present one. Discipline teaches you that progress is not dramatic, it is deliberate. It is built in ordinary moments, handled with extraordinary consistency. Through discipline, you learn that self-respect is not a feeling you wait for, it is a behavior you practice. Some days it will feel strong, and some days it will feel fragile, but each day you choose discipline, you reinforce it. You become someone who does not abandon themselves when things get hard, someone who stays committed even when the path feels lonely. In time, the results of disciplined living begin to speak for themselves. Not loudly, but clearly. You carry yourself differently. You move with purpose. You stand with quiet assurance, knowing you have honored your growth. Discipline will not only change what you do, it will change who you believe yourself to be. And that belief, earned through daily self-respect, becomes the foundation for a life built with intention, strength, and lasting fulfillment. Your life will not change by chance. It will change by the habits you choose to repeat. Change does not knock loudly on the door one dramatic morning and announce itself. It arrives quietly, shaped by what you do when no one is paying attention. Every habit you repeat is a conversation with your future. You are either telling it to wait or inviting it to arrive. Chance is unpredictable, but habits are loyal. They follow you every day, carrying the weight of your choices forward, shaping your direction without asking for permission. Many people wait for a turning point, believing life will suddenly shift when circumstances improve. But life does not bend to hope alone, it responds to patterns. What you practice daily becomes what you live permanently. The smallest habits, repeated with faithfulness, carry more power than the grand plans you never return to. Each time you choose the same constructive action again, you cast a quiet vote for the life you say you want. Over time, those votes add up, and change becomes inevitable. Habits teach life how to treat you. When you repeat discipline, life responds with stability. When you repeat consistency, life responds with growth. You do not rise to the level of your dreams, you settle into the level of your routines. This is not a limitation, it is an invitation to choose wisely what you repeat. Because repetition is not accidental, it is intentional, whether you acknowledge it or not. There will be days when your habits feel boring, when progress feels slow and invisible, but habits are not designed to impress you, they are designed to transform you. They work beneath the surface, strengthening your roots before revealing your fruit. What feels ordinary today becomes extraordinary with time. What feels small today becomes powerful through persistence. Habits are patient builders. They do not rush, but they never stop working. When you commit to better habits, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop blaming luck, timing, or circumstances. You understand that your life is not waiting for a miracle, it is waiting for alignment. Alignment between who you say you are and what you repeatedly do. When your actions begin to match your intentions, change no longer feels distant, it feels deserved. Habits also teach you responsibility without shame. If your life feels stuck, it is not a verdict on your worth, it is feedback on your patterns. And patterns can be changed, one choice at a time, one repeated action at a time. You are never too late to begin again, but you must begin consistently. Growth does not require punishment, it requires persistence. As days pass, habits shape not only your outcomes, but your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who stays, someone who builds instead of waits. That identity becomes your anchor. And once you believe you are capable of consistency, chance loses its power over you. Your life will not change overnight, but it will change inevitably when your habits do. Keep choosing what aligns with your growth. Keep repeating what honors your future. One day, you will look around and realize that the life you once hoped for is now the life you live, not by chance, but by choice.